Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. It's your host Street Urchin, and today we're going to be doing a ENTP relationship compatibility tier list because they're popular. Disclaimer before we continue, I am of the opinion that putting two personalities together does not guarantee a particular outcome. I am of the opinion that you need common interests to make a relationship actually function, so this tier list is only going to be for predicting potential clashes in a relationship with someone as an ENTP. But an ENTP could be compatible with anyone based on your levels of understanding and patience. I'm a little lower on the patience in my old age. Alright, so here are the tiers. At the bottom we have 6-digit number, the ones that you should just stay away from at all costs. Your functions are simply not going to mesh well together in today's society. One-nighters, those in this category you can get along with for a short period of time. Have some fun, say you'll text them tomorrow, then don't. Then we have the mains. For these ones you might consider getting into a long-term relationship, maybe see how it goes, and if you're young you could be keeping your eye out for other prospects. Next is vaguely serious relationships. These are the ones that are probably going to scare you a little bit. They'll start giving you those thoughts of spending the rest of your life with them. They probably have a few quirks that you're not super okay with, but you figure you can probably deal with it over time. Then you have the coveted waifu and husbando tier. If you don't want to die alone, these are the ones that you should be considering for a long-term investment. I know that ENTP and investment don't always go hand in hand. Alright, for the 6-digit number tier, we have ISTJs and ESFPs. Neither of these personalities understand you on even the most basic of levels. Your ideas will exhaust them. Philosophical discussion turns them off. The ISTJ will expect you to mold yourself into the ideal modern-day wage slave. The ESFP is only going to want to go out to the club or the bar. They won't be interested in the kind of games you want to play. They'll view your general interest as nerd activities, which is true, but both personalities are no-goes and will give you headaches more than anything else. Alright, 14 to go. Now moving on to the one-nighters. As you can see, we have more of the extroverted personalities here in the one-nighter tier. Here we have the ENTP addressing the elephant in the room. It's not that the ENTPs couldn't get along. The problem becomes that you're going to get bored of one another very, very quickly. As an ENTP, you're all about different perspectives, and unfortunately, most ENTPs are going to think roughly the same way you do, and your eye is going to start to wander, so it's best to have fun for a night and go your separate ways. The ESFJ and ESTJ, although they're a little more free-thinking than their introverted counterparts, they're still very dogmatic and they want to always be in charge. So if you're not a fan of following orders, your encounters with them should be limited to, high school reunions, company events, funerals. Interact with them when convenient. ENFJs are, of course, super fun, but their loyalty is to themselves, so they'll try and fit you into a box for their plans, and they'll always be expecting you to be nice to people you find stupid, which is going to cause conflict. The ESTP, of course, one-nighters are kind of their specialty, so the ENTJ is a no-nonsense personality, and ENTPs are like 3/4 nonsense. Next up, we have the main category. In this tier, the relationships might work, they might not. The cognitive function compatibility is generally okay. It really boils down to their interests and their experience. We have the INTJ, INFJ, ISFJ, and ENFP. INTJs are much like the ENTJs. As long as you're not hindering their progress in the relationship, it could go pretty well, but unless you're willing to mostly support their plans, they tend to do things on their own and you may end up not spending a whole lot of time together, which is most likely going to end up with you wanting to leave. INFJs are generally the same way, but they put more emphasis on the social component, but much like the ENFJ, their loyalty is to themselves first. However, the ISFJ's loyalty is to you, so long as you're still meeting those prerequisites for a relationship with them. Essentially, if you're fulfilling a stereotypical gender role, then they'll leave you be. ENFPs are kind of hit or miss. If they're heavily indoctrinated in political correctness, then they're going to hate nearly everything that comes out of your mouth. Otherwise, they can be very diligent partners, always wanting to martyr themselves for the benefit of the relationship. Now on to the vaguely serious relationship. We have the INTP and INFP. The INTP is a little bit more of a grounded version of yourself. They understand the value of consistency, but can easily relate to your way of thinking, and they'll always want to do nerd stuff in the free time. The INFPs can also relate to your imagination, with the added twist that the INFP will try to predict your emotional needs, even the ones you don't think you have, and with their lack of preference for thinking functions, they'll defer to you for the most logical course of action, balancing out logic and morals. They could easily be your Jiminy Cricket. I like French fries. And last but not least, the waifu husbando tier, we have ISTPs and ISFPs. Now, before you change the channel, before you leave a massive comment explaining why S-types shouldn't be with N-types, remember that ENTPs love perspectives. They love versatility, and above all, they love authenticity. You will find no other two personalities that want to be themselves more than the ISTP and ISFP. Both of these personality types want to have fun, to have enjoyment and contentment, which of course is exactly what you want. It is not uncommon for these types to enjoy video games, anime, tabletop adventures. Both types prefer being practical, which is probably something you need more of in your life. They're more keen on those little details, like laundry or bills skills, food, or health, and they'll accept you for who you are, just as they would expect you to accept them for who they are. The ISTP will enjoy friendly competition, and they can bring some logical and practical solutions to your ideas, attempting to funnel your chaos into something concrete. ISFPs will have a similar interest in what goes on inside your head, but instead of being really competitive, they put more focus on the health of the relationship. They want to be as agreeable as would be reasonable. They'll want to keep you happy. They'll want to take care of you in ways that you obviously ignore. Neither of these personality types are wacky or crazy, but as an ENTP, how much crazy do you need? And that's it for the ENTP relationship compatibility tier list. That is a mouthful. If you find yourself interested in practical MBTI, a link to the Discord is down below. I'm usually lurking around in case anyone has any MBTI related questions I can answer. Also check out my Patreon if you feel like keeping the channel going. Green teas don't buy themselves. Make sure to leave your hate in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye!